Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you will determine whether you rise above the crowd or get swallowed by it. Machiavelli warned us about the first type of stupid person, the blind fool, the one who sleepwalks through life, mistaking noise for wisdom, speed for progress, and comfort for safety. They drift, they follow, they obey, and worst of all, they think they're awake. These people are the easiest for the world to control because they never question the hand that holds their leash. They cling to opinions they never forged. They walk into traps they never saw. And if you're not careful, their weakness becomes contagious. You're here because you refuse to be like them. You're here because you want to become untouchable, sharp, strategic, and aware. So let me ask you now. Comment, "I choose clarity over comfort," if you're ready to step out of the fog that blinds the masses. In this world, blindness is a choice, and clarity is a weapon. The sooner you understand that, the sooner you stop letting fools shape your fate. Stay alert, stay cold, stay conscious. This is where the transformation begins. Number 2, the arrogant ignorant. There is a second type of stupidity Machiavelli warned us about. More subtle, more corrosive, and far more dangerous than the blind fool. This is the arrogant ignorant, the man who confuses ego with intelligence, noise with authority, and confidence with competence. He believes his opinions are facts, his impulses are strategies, and his assumptions are truths carved into stone. He speaks with certainty, acts with haste, and never once considers that the sharpest blade he carries is pointed at his own throat. This type of man is a walking disaster disguised as a leader. He charges into every situation convinced he already understands the terrain, when in reality he has barely skimmed the surface. He underestimates enemies, overestimates allies, and sabotages himself through sheer stubbornness. And the tragedy is this: he thinks he's winning while losing ground with every step. Machiavelli identified these men as liabilities to kingdoms, to alliances, and to themselves, because a leader who cannot question his own mind becomes a weapon forged for someone else's agenda. The arrogant ignorant never sees the manipulation coming. His ego blinds him long before any enemy does, and if you allow him into your life, he will drag your stability into the pit with him, smiling proudly as everything collapses. You cannot afford his delusions, you cannot afford his recklessness, and you cannot afford to let his noise influence your path. To become untouchable, you must cultivate the opposite: humility sharpened into perception, strategy refined into instinct, awareness elevated into power. Comment, "I choose clarity over comfort" right now, because clarity is the antidote to arrogance and comfort is the fuel that feeds it. Understand this: real power is quiet, disciplined, and self-aware. It does not scream, it calculates. It does not assume, it observes. It does not rush. It positions itself so precisely that victory becomes effortless. The arrogant ignorant will never know this kind of strength, but you can, if you choose truth over ego, growth over pride, and clarity over the illusions that seduce the weak. Stay sharp, stay sovereign, and never let arrogance guide your ascent. Number 3, the emotional volcano. The third type of stupid person Machiavelli warned us about is the emotional volcano, the one who erupts at the slightest spark, who lets every impulse hijack his judgment, who mistakes emotional intensity for moral righteousness. This type believes that feeling something strongly automatically makes it true. He reacts before thinking, speaks before understanding, and destroys alliances before realizing he needed them. You've seen this type everywhere. The man who turns minor setbacks into personal catastrophes, who lashes out at friends, who interprets neutrality as disrespect, who confuses volatility with passion. Machiavelli understood that such people are political disasters because they reveal their weaknesses louder than their strengths. They hand their enemies the blueprint to manipulate them. They expose their soft spots like a target painted on their chest. And the worst part is this: they think their emotional chaos is authenticity. They think their inability to control themselves is proof of their honesty. But honesty without discipline is just self-sabotage dressed as virtue. The emotional volcano has no center, no stillness, no inner command. He is ruled by storms he refuses to master, and in doing so, he becomes easy to predict, easy to provoke, and easy to break. In your pursuit of becoming untouchable, you must be the opposite. You must become the strategist who feels deeply yet responds selectively. The man who lets emotion inform action, never dictate it. Power demands composure, influence demands restraint, and psychological dominance demands the ability to stay ice cold when others lose their grip. When you can maintain clarity in the middle of chaos, you inherit an advantage that emotional men will never touch: the power of controlled direction. So remind yourself daily, your feelings are signals, not commands. Your impulses are suggestions, not laws. And your discipline is your shield against the chaos that consumes weaker minds. Rise above the storm. Rise above the noise. Rise above the smallness of men who cannot master themselves. And when you're ready to declare that you will not be ruled by emotion ever again, comment, "I choose clarity over comfort." Number 4. The perpetual victim. The fourth type of stupid person Machiavelli warned us about is the perpetual victim, the one who has surrendered all power, all responsibility, and all self-respect to the comforting lie that life is happening to him rather than because of him. This type is dangerous not because he is strong, but because he is hollow. He drags others into his emptiness. He poisons ambition with excuses. He sees every obstacle as oppression, every challenge as cruelty, and every consequence as injustice. The perpetual victim seeks sympathy, not solutions. He collects pity the way powerful men collect leverage. He worships the narrative that he is powerless, and he clings to it like a lifeline, because if he admitted he had control, he'd have to admit he wasted it. Machiavelli knew that a man who refuses accountability is a threat to any kingdom, any alliance, any mission. Why? Because a victim cannot be trusted. He will betray you to protect his excuses. He will sabotage progress to avoid responsibility. He will choose the comfort of helplessness over the discomfort of growth every single time. And if you let him close, his mindset infects you like a slow venom. You start believing the world owes you something. You start resenting those who rise. You start shrinking in the name of fairness. But you're not here to shrink. You're here to sharpen, to evolve, to become untouchable. That means rejecting the victim mindset with absolute violence. It means understanding that power is never given. It's taken, claimed, forged. It means realizing that no one is coming to save you, and that's your greatest advantage. Because when you stop waiting for rescue, you start building your own empire. When you stop blaming circumstances, you start bending them in your favor. When you stop identifying with weakness, strength becomes your only language. A victim waits. A strategist moves. A victim complains. A leader adapts. A victim drowns in excuses. A sovereign mind turns obstacles into ammunition. If you want to stand among the rare few who rule their inner world, you must cut every tie to the narratives that keep men small. Step out of the role. Step into the throne. And when you're ready to make that declaration publicly, comment, "I choose clarity over comfort." Number 5. The chaotic opportunist. The fifth type of stupid person Machiavelli warned us about is the chaotic opportunist. The one who tries to play the game of strategy without the discipline, intelligence, or long-term vision required to win it. This is the person who jumps at every shiny distraction, every quick payoff, every sudden thrill of advantage. They think they're clever. They think they're calculating. But beneath their frantic movements lies nothing but instability. They operate like a gambler pretending to be a general, taking risks not because they're strategic, but because they're bored, insecure, or desperate for validation. The chaotic opportunist is unpredictable, not in the dangerous tactical sense, but in the sloppy, self-destructive sense. They burn bridges they haven't even crossed. They make alliances they can't maintain. They betray people they desperately need and trust those who are quietly sharpening a knife behind their back. Machiavelli understood the fatal flaw of this type. They confuse motion with progress. They mistake betrayal for brilliance. They assume that chaos equals power. But real power is never chaotic. Real power is stable, disciplined, and rooted in long-term control. The opportunist, on the other hand, lives moment to moment, driven by impulse and ego rather than mastery. They cannot think beyond the next dopamine hit of advantage, and this short-sightedness makes them incredibly easy to manipulate. A skilled strategist can predict them, bait them, steer them, and ultimately destroy them by feeding them exactly what they crave. Chaos disguised as opportunity. To become untouchable, you must be the opposite of this stupidity. You must cultivate patience, precision, and an unshakable commitment to long-term positioning. You cannot allow desperation to govern your decisions. You cannot let impulsive hunger override strategic restraint. You cannot chase every opportunity, because a true sovereign understands that some opportunities are traps disguised as doors. Your power grows when you choose your moves deliberately, not impulsively. When you act with purpose, not panic. When you study the terrain before planting your flag. The man who is selective with his actions becomes a force others fear. The man who is reckless becomes a pawn others use. Your ambition is a weapon, but only if you can aim it, only if you can hold it steady, only if you can resist firing prematurely just to feel powerful for a moment. You are here to build something enduring, not to gamble your future for temporary excitement. And the moment you internalize this truth, you step into a level of psychological dominance that opportunists will never understand. So carve this into your mindset like a commandment. Strategy beats speed, positioning beats impulse, and control beats chaos every single time. When you're ready to declare your commitment to strategic power over reckless opportunity, comment, "I choose clarity over comfort." At number 6, the hidden saboteur. The 6th type of stupid person Machiavelli warned us about is the hidden saboteur. The one who smiles in your presence but quietly erodes your foundation the moment your back is turned. This type is not dangerous because he is brilliant. He is dangerous because he is petty, insecure, jealous, and driven by a compulsive need to undermine whatever he cannot become. The hidden saboteur is the man who pretends to applaud your victories while secretly hoping you stumble. He offers advice meant to sound supportive but structured to weaken you. He plants doubts disguised as concerns. He praises your effort but questions your direction. His stupidity lies not in the subtlety of his sabotage, but in the belief that he can weaken others without eventually destroying himself. Machiavelli understood that such people are corrosive to every structure, political, social, or personal, because they lack loyalty, self-awareness, and long-term foresight. They are motivated not by strategy, but by envy, and envy is the most wasteful form of stupidity a person can embrace. A jealous mind is a prison of its own making. While you build, he broods. While you advance, he disintegrates. While you sharpen your discipline, he dulls his purpose with resentment. But here's the deeper danger. The hidden saboteur is often someone close, someone with access to your routines, your vulnerabilities, your plans, not because you trust him, but because he hides his weakness behind a mask of familiarity. He wants proximity to your power, not to learn from it, but to drain it. He is threatened by your growth because your evolution reminds him of his stagnation. His envy metastasizes into subtle rebellion, small comments, delayed support, passive resistance, strategic incompetence. These people don't attack directly. They chip away at your stability, one calculated hesitation at a time. To become untouchable, you must master the ability to detect these individuals before they secure a foothold in your world. You do this not by paranoia, but by observation. Watch how a person reacts to your wins. Watch whether their support is consistent or conditional. Watch their energy when opportunities come your way. A true ally celebrates your rise because your growth does not diminish their own. A saboteur celebrates only when you remain safe, predictable, unthreatening. Understand this truth. Strong men do not envy because strong men are building. Weak men envy because weakness cannot create, cannot transform, cannot rise. and envy always reveals itself, no matter how skillfully it tries to mask its face. Once you identify a saboteur, you do not confront him emotionally. You do not give him the satisfaction of seeing your anger. Instead, you practice Machiavellian discipline. You reduce his access. You silence your plans around him. You remove him from sensitive positions. You replace reliance with distance. And you let him choke on the irrelevance he created for himself. In your ascent, you will encounter many who admire your strength publicly but resent you privately. Do not fear them. Do not hate them. Simply outgrow them, outposition them, and outlast them. That is the true punishment for those who tried to sabotage what they never had the courage to build. This is how you maintain sovereignty. Protect your ambition, defend your focus, and never let envy find a seat at your table. When you're ready to declare that you refuse to let hidden saboteurs shape your destiny, comment, "I choose clarity over comfort." Number 7. The Loud Moralist. The 7th type of stupid person Machiavelli warned us about is the loud moralizer, the one who screams about virtue while secretly drowning in his own hypocrisy. This is the man who believes that preaching righteousness makes him righteous. He weaponizes morality not to elevate the world, but to elevate his ego. He points fingers, demands purity, and performs outrage like it's a badge of honor. But beneath his noise lies a hollow structure, insecurity, fear, and a desperate need to control others because he has no command over himself. Machiavelli understood this type well. He knew that the loud moralizer is not guided by principles, but by the intoxicating thrill of appearing superior. He hides his weaknesses behind public displays of indignation. He masks his failures with lectures about others' imperfections. And every time he condemns someone, he temporarily forgets how deeply he despises his own reflection. This type is dangerous because he manipulates through shame. He attempts to box you into obedience by implying that disagreement makes you immoral. He pushes the narrative that he alone knows what is right, and that your independence is a threat to the order he imagines himself maintaining. But here's the Machiavellian truth. People who are genuinely moral rarely announce it. Strength does not broadcast itself because it doesn't need validation. Discipline does not sermonize because it is expressed through action, not theatrics. Only the insecure must constantly remind the world of their virtue. The loud moralizer is not defending morality. He is defending his fragile identity. To become untouchable, you must learn how to neutralize this type without slipping into his psychological traps. Never argue with him. Arguments only feed his hunger for attention. Never allow him to shame you into compliance. Shame is the only currency he possesses. Never justify your path to someone who isn't walking it. Observe him, understand him, and move beyond his reach. The moment you stop reacting to his noise, his influence dissolves. Moralizers thrive on emotional responses. When your face remains calm, when your energy remains grounded, when your mission remains unmoved, you expose the weakness behind their accusations. Understand this. Moral authority without self-discipline is noise. Moral authority without self-honesty is manipulation. And moral authority without power is theater. Your goal is not to appear good to the crowd. Your goal is to become formidable within yourself. Machiavelli would remind you that perception can be shaped, but character must be forged. True strength is silent. True integrity is internal. True power does not flaunt itself. It controls itself. When you detach from the moralist's influence, you reclaim your sovereignty. You stop seeking approval and start creating direction. You stop bending under judgment and start operating from inner command. The world is full of people who shout about virtue but lack the discipline to live it. Let them shout. Let them posture. Let them exhaust themselves trying to maintain an image you no longer care to acknowledge. You are not here to impress the weak. You are here to master your reality. And when you're ready to declare that no moral performance will ever dictate your path again, comment, "I choose clarity over comfort." Number 8. The Dependent Drifter. The eighth type of stupid person Machiavelli warned us about is the dependent drifter, the one who floats through life without direction, without discipline, and without the spine required to stand on his own decisions. This is the man who survives only by attaching himself to anyone stronger, more focused, or more ambitious than he is. He feeds off the momentum of others because he has none of his own. He clings to leaders, imitates winners, and mirrors the energy of whoever seems powerful at the moment. Yet, behind that imitation lies nothing but emptiness, no principles, no vision, no internal compass. Machiavelli understood that people like this are liabilities, not allies, because they are loyal only to convenience. The moment your path becomes difficult, demanding, or no longer beneficial to their comfort, they drift away and search for a new source of direction. Their dependency makes them unstable, and their instability makes them dangerous to keep close. The dependent drifter is not malicious, he is weak. But weakness creates chaos in any structure, whether personal or political. When pressure hits, he collapses. When responsibility appears, he retreats. When decisions must be made, he stalls. His fear of acting alone forces him into perpetual stagnation, and that stagnation becomes a quiet poison to those who allow him into their orbit. A man who cannot guide himself cannot help guide others. A man who cannot stand alone cannot stand beside you when adversity strikes, and a man who relies on external validation will always betray the mission when the world stops clapping for him. To become untouchable, you must eliminate every trace of this weakness within yourself. You must develop an internal authority, an unshakable sense of direction that does not bend to opinions, emotions, or the shifting tides of external validation. Power requires self-governance. Strategy requires independence. Sovereignty requires the ability to move alone, think alone, and decide alone when necessary. The strongest men in history stood on foundations they carved themselves. They were not shaped by followers. They were shaped by solitude, clarity, and discipline. Learn to operate without needing praise, permission, or applause. Learn to create your own momentum. Learn to be a force that moves with or without support. And when it comes to the drifters around you, set boundaries with precision. Do not carry those who refuse to build their own legs. Do not invest your energy into those who won't invest in themselves. Do not mistake proximity for loyalty or imitation for strength. A drifting man will abandon your mission the moment he feels discomfort, but a sovereign man will carry his own weight and elevate the entire structure. Surround yourself only with the latter. And when you're ready to declare that you will never be a dependent drifter and never tolerate one in your circle, comment, "I choose clarity over comfort." Number 9. The reckless rebel. The ninth type of stupid person Machiavelli warned us about is the reckless rebel. The one who mistakes defiance for power, chaos for courage, and disobedience for independence. This is the man who fights every rule, challenges every structure, and opposes every authority simply because he believes rebellion makes him strong. But rebellion without strategy is not strength. It's self-destruction dressed in bravado. The reckless rebel dreams of dominance but cannot even discipline himself. He rejects guidance, rejects order, rejects wisdom, and rejects every opportunity to grow, because in his mind, agreement equals weakness and listening equals submission. Machiavelli understood this personality well. Throughout history, kingdoms were never shaken by the wise or the strategic, but by the impulsive men who created chaos for the sake of ego. The reckless rebel burns the very bridges he needs to cross. He destroys alliances that would have empowered him. He sees structure as oppression rather than infrastructure, and he fails to realize that power is built on systems, not tantrums. He imagines himself a lone wolf, but in reality, he is a stray dog wandering with no territory, no pack, and no legacy. This type of person is dangerous not because he is skilled, but because he is loud. His impulsiveness infects others. His defiance appeals to the undisciplined. He encourages chaos disguised as freedom. But beneath that noise lies nothing of substance, no plan, no leadership, no mastery. A man who rebels against everything stands for nothing. And a man who stands for nothing can be bent in any direction by anyone skilled enough to manipulate him. To become untouchable, you must embrace a different path: selective rebellion, strategic autonomy, controlled dominance. Power is not found in opposing everything. It is found in choosing what is worth opposing and why. A sovereign mind knows when to stand firm and when to adapt. A strategist knows when to bend the rules and when to enforce them. Strength is not in constant resistance, but in disciplined direction. Understand this: rebellion is a tool, not a lifestyle. You use it when it serves your mission. You silence it when it sabotages your position. The strongest men in history were not aimless rebels. They were architects of their environment, bending systems to their advantage rather than destroying them out of impulse. Channel your fire into precision, not noise. Let your defiance serve your purpose, not your pride. And when it comes to the reckless rebels around you, keep your distance. They will drag you into battles that do not matter. They will provoke enemies you don't need. They will sabotage your progress simply to feed their own need for conflict. Let them burn themselves out. You are here to build, not to explode. And when you're ready to declare that you choose strategic power over reckless rebellion, comment: I choose clarity over comfort. Number 10. The self-righteous weakling. The 10th type of stupid person Machiavelli warned us about is the self-righteous weakling, the one who cloaks his cowardice in virtue, his indecision in morality, and his lack of courage in the illusion of being a good person. This is the man who refuses to take action because he fears judgment, who refuses to make hard choices because he fears conflict, and who refuses to grow because growth demands discomfort. He convinces himself that avoiding challenge is noble, that staying small is humble, that shrinking under pressure is somehow morally superior to standing firm. But beneath all that sanctimony lies a simple truth: he lacks the spine required to lead his own life. Machiavelli despised this type not because they were evil, but because their weakness created instability in every structure they touched. A man who cannot choose will eventually be ruled by those who can. A man who cannot risk will eventually lose to those who dare. A man who hides behind virtue will always be controlled by those who understand power. To become untouchable, you must reject this quiet form of cowardice entirely. You must be willing to make decisions without begging the world to approve them. You must be willing to step into discomfort without apologizing for your ambition. You must be willing to pursue strength even when it offends the fragile. Power demands that you choose your direction and own it. Sovereignty requires that you stop justifying your hunger for more. The world does not reward hesitation. It crushes it. So stand tall, speak with purpose, move with intent, and let the world adapt to your presence instead of waiting for permission to exist. When you're ready to declare that you will never again hide behind weakness disguised as goodness, comment: I choose clarity over comfort.